Bonjour, aujourd'hui nous allons écouter l'histoire du magicien d'Oz que j'ai en anglais pour vous. Je l'ai réécrit dans un langage simple et ça serait une façon d'étudier des mots en anglais puis faire des exercices en anglais en écoutant et en regardant des belles images qui accompagnent le chapitre. C'est le chapitre 1, le Cyclone, the Cyclone. Starting now. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. This was published in the year 1900. Cette histoire est publiée l'année 1900. Chapter 1, The Cyclone. Dorothy lived with her Uncle Henry, a farmer, and her Aunt Em, the farmer's wife. Their house was small, with 4 walls, a roof, and a floor, which made one room. They had a cook stove, a cupboard for the dishes, a table, and 4 chairs. There was a big bed for Uncle Henry and Aunt Em, and a little bed for Dorothy. There was no attic and no basement, just a cyclone hole in the ground with a door and a ladder. This was for people to crawl into for protection in case of a cyclone. All around the house, Dorothy could see nothing but the great gray prairie stretching out in all directions. There were no trees, and there had been no rain, so the ground was cracked and dry. Even the grass was not green. It was gray, like mud, because it did not get enough water. Aunt Em had lost her joy because life was so hard at the Kansas farm. When Dorothy, who is an orphan, had come to live with them, Aunt Em had been surprised to hear her laugh. Aunt Em never smiled and never laughed. Uncle Henry never laughed either. But Dorothy had a little dog named Toto. Toto made Dorothy laugh. Toto was a little black dog with long silky hair who made Dorothy laugh and played with her all day long. He made Dorothy happy. Today, they were not playing. Uncle Henry looked up anxiously at the sky, which was more gray than usual. Dorothy, with Toto in her arms, stood beside her Aunt Em, and they too looked at the great gray clouds forming above. They all heard the sound of wind and saw the grass bowing down in waves, and they knew a storm was coming. Uncle Henry said, "There is a cyclone coming. Em, I will go look after the cows and the horses." Aunt Em yelled, "Quick, Dorothy, go into the cellar." And that lady ran quickly down the ladder underground. Toto jumped out of Dorothy's arms and hid under her bed. Dorothy went to get Toto before following her aunt, but as she grabbed Toto, the house suddenly shook hard and Dorothy fell on the floor. Then a strange thing happened. The house twisted around about 3 times, and Dorothy felt herself being lifted into the air like she was in a balloon. The north and south winds met exactly where the house stood and made the house in the center of the cyclone. In the center, the air was perfectly still, but the pressure of the swirling winds all around made the house go up and up until it was at the very top of the cyclone. The house stayed at the top of the cyclone and was carried for miles and miles. The house rocked and tilted, and Dorothy sat still on the floor. But Toto ran around and barked. Once he got too close to the trap door and fell through. The air pressure kept him afloat, and Dorothy was able to reach down and pull him back in the house by his ear. Look at this picture. This is the original picture. C'est l'image originale of Dorothy pulling up Toto into the house. Then Dorothy closed the trap door so no more accidents would happen. Hours passed. Dorothy got used to being in the swaying house. She began to feel very lonely. She decided to crawl into her bed. Toto lay down beside her. Even though the wind was making a lot of noise and the house was still floating in the air, Dorothy soon fell asleep. End of chapter 1. Exercise number 1, word and picture match. There are 15 words in the grid up top, and there are 15 pictures underneath. Each word is written underneath the picture that corresponds to the word. So, for example, this picture here is rain. Do you see the raindrops? So I'm going to look for the word rain in this list, and I see it right over here. R-A-I-N is rain, and I will write it here, R-A-I-N. You do the same for all of the words till this is completed. In the list of words that we just completed in exercise 1, there are some words that we can put into groups. So for exercise 2, which 4 of the above words, that's the first 15, there are 4 that have to do with weather. The weather is le temps ou la météo. So there's 4 words that you can choose. One of them is storm, right? And there's 4 of them. Number 3, exercise 3, which 4 of the above words are items that we can see in a house, things we see in a house. And so use your judgment. Out of the list of 15, there are 4 items that we would find typically in a house. Write those ones. Down at 4, draw a house. So the instructions are in English. Draw a house, include 4 windows and 2 doors. Draw some grass in front of the house. So the drawing will depict comprehension of those words. This exercise, number 5, is a little bit more advanced, so you might use this with some older students. Here are a few more words from the chapter. Write the word and then write the French word next to it. So you copy it. Copying is beneficial for helping to remember. You see the letters and you remember the word. You repeat the word in your head at least once as you write it. Then you write the French word beside. So for the first one, roof, R-O-O-F. Then le toit is the French. So room, R-O-O-M, and then la salle ou la pièce is for the French. And you go all the way down. All of these are nouns, so it's still pretty straightforward. Here is a more advanced exercise. Exercise 6 is 35 verbs. All of them are in the present tense. The job is, with a partner, to read them and find out what they mean. Use the verbs in a sentence just with talking. So try to make sentences as in, I like to laugh. I had a cat. If I get bored, I will fall asleep. Now, try to write 3 sentences using any of the verbs above and in the present tense. For example, let's follow the path and see where it goes, right? So you might have using the word carry. I will carry my books to class. Or the word lost. I lost my keys. Things like that. Just simple sentences and only 3 of them. The last exercise is students will practice role-playing and they will read a script and they will be able to act. So it's a reader's theater. It's very short and it's a nice way to get our feet wet. This requires 4 players, or if you only have 2 players, each person can play 2 different roles. we have someone playing the role of Aunt Em, and so you write your name on the line beside the character. Somebody playing Dorothy, somebody playing Uncle Henry, and somebody playing the dog Toto. So here's the script. Uncle Henry starts out, "A storm, a storm, a storm is coming." "A storm, you say?" "Yes, it's going to be a bad one. We have to go down into the cellar at once. Dorothy, Dorothy, where are you?" Dorothy goes, "I'm in the house with Toto, Aunt Em. What is the matter?" "I'm in the cellar. Come down the ladder. The storm is here." "A storm?" says the dog. "I'm going under the bed." "Toto, come here," is Dorothy's line. Toto, "Nope, I'm staying here." Uncle Henry, "All the cows and all the horses are safe in the barn. I am going down in the cellar. Come on, Dorothy." Dorothy says, "Toto won't come out. Wait, is the house moving?" Toto gets to make some sounds. "Yip, yip, yip, woof, woof, woof. I feel the house rocking and twisting." Dorothy says, "This is scary. We are floating in the air." Toto goes, "Help, help. I fell out the trap door." Dorothy, "I will save you, Toto." Toto, "Thank you." Dorothy, "I'm going to sleep." Toto, "Me too." And that's it. That's the end of the first lesson on our book, The Wizard of Oz. I hope this was helpful.